What's the best thing that happened to you in Truth or Dare? I was playing Truth or Dare with my sister's friends and I dared one of them to do something, and after one of them says, "You could have dared someone to kiss you and you would have gotten your first kiss." That immediately set a light off in my head, and later in the night I asked if I could kiss her and I did. So I got to kiss a really pretty girl. Got dared to kiss my back then HS crush. Couldn't do it, not because I'm kinda shy but because it was my crush, so I denied and got booed out. She later came to check up on me and asked if I wanna do it, now that the others weren't around. Of course I said yes and we kissed, first on the cheek, then normally. Afterwards she giggled and told me she liked it. There never came anything from it, but I still think of her quite a lot these days. My friend dared the girl I had a crush on to kiss me. She stared at me and said I can't do it, he's too ugly, and the other girls said the same thing. I ended up being ignored for the rest of the game. Good times equals. It was a girl's 19th birthday party and my buddy from high school was there. Everyone was being lame and awkward, so I suggested Truth or Dare. The game went on for a while, but people were getting progressively more naked and horny as most of them were drinking. I was the DD for another friend at the party and the people staying were getting raunchier, so we split. The birthday girl and my high school buddy hooked up and they've been together for about 7 years now and have a daughter together. I'm way late, but the first day I met my wife we played a game of Truth or Dare. She asked me, "Truth, what kind of clothes on a girl do you like?" Then the next day she showed up to my house in those clothes. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. We were too old to be playing Truth or Dare, like 20 years old. My friend had only seen boobs in his dad's Playboys. He hadn't even kissed a girl yet. Some woman was dared to show everyone her tits. My friend was silently stoked. He didn't cheer out loud, but I knew he was fucking giddy. As the woman lifted her shirt and bra, some other goober leaned right in front of my friend and blocked his view. It was over before my friend could react. He complained about it for weeks. We've laughed about it for years. Was sitting outside at a college campus and was dared to yell "I love you" to the next person I saw. I did, and this dude yells it back and keeps walking. We go back and forth, getting louder and louder as he walks off. Best reaction ever. Was dared to catch a frisbee in my teeth from across the yard. So, walked outside and across the yard. Girl wound up, threw the frisbee, figured this ought to be funny when it bounces off my face, and as a total fucking fluke, actually caught it in my teeth. Girl got dared to give me a BJ during recess at school in front of everyone. I was 13. Got suspended. She got expelled. Apparently I wasn't the first she got into trouble for. Had my dad's friends shake my hand a lot because he must have bragged about his son. My current wife went to school with me too. Brings it up sometimes. Lol. I was at work high school job at a department store, and the 4 of us in my department were playing Truth or Dare, mostly dumb work stuff like go mix up those shirts. Someone dared the girl who had a rep as being experienced, who was a couple years older than me, to give me a blowjob. She told me to take break with her. I played along. We went to her car. She actually blew me in the store parking lot. I was a late bloomer in HS. By the time I realized I may be attractive to anyone, it was over. Our senior year party for an art magnet school, we played this. A girl I had a fairly solid crush on, popular, cheerleader, a good friend, was asked who she had fantasized about, and I was the answer. Blew my mind. Gave me the guts to ask her out. It was a horribly awkward, silly lunch date. Built my confidence a lot heading into college. A silly story, but it was a good one. Got to play my very first, and only, Truth or Dare game when I moved to the US for college, with a bunch of people who I would characterize as moderately to severely religious. I was not, but those were the first people I had met, so I went with it. Needless to say, it was tame and clean. Worst thing someone got dared to do was walk up to a stranger and sing the national anthem. Reading all the responses here, I never imagined the game could be so interesting and sexually charged. I definitely missed out. Girl got dared to spin the bottle and give a blowjob to whoever it lands on right in front of everybody. The bottle didn't point at me, but I had a nice view right next to the girl it did land on. Apparently, she had experience dining at the Y. My friend had a game called Cosmopolitan Truth or Dare. It was a card game that had a truth or a dare question on it. We played with a set of twins once who pulled a dare that read cover your chests in whipped cream and rub them together, and they actually did it. I was 16 and my group of friends were sitting in a sauna. Everyone was covered up by a towel, when one of the girls said we should play truth or dare. I got dared to show my dick to one of the girls, so we went out to the changing room/showers that is attached to the sauna, and I showed her my dick and she gave me my first hand job, and later that night we had sex. Ended up together for about 6 years before I found out she had been cheating on me like a lot. Someone dared me to kiss a lady that I happened to have a thing for anyway. It was a very long time before we stopped kissing. Dated her for 3 years. Great lady, always a little sad it didn't work out. I was dared to drink all of the drinks on the table. They never specified the time limit, so I had drinks for the next hour sorted. I got to watch my middle school friend, it was winter, go down to the yard, strip to boxers and run a lap around the yard. Needless to say, we were all impressed and hysterically laughing. He did this in the middle of class BTW. Shari was dared to spend 10 minutes in a dark room, nearby a den, with the guy of her choice. She chose me. Turned out to be a setup. Her best friend knew that Shari had a crush on me and made this happen. Anyway, it was the hottest, fastest makeout session to date for me. We were both naked above the waist and she had her hand in my zipper. At 10 minutes there was an unwelcome knock on the door. Rather tame compared to some of the shit that I've seen, and may or may not be envious of, in this thread. But one time when I was like 13 to 14, playing truth or dare at a sleepover, I was dared to walk into my friend's sister's room, they were 17 and 19, without knocking and just shout boobs. The only condition I set forth was that I was allowed to bolt back to his room and lock the door so they couldn't beat me up. I did it, and all I saw was the confused faces of his sisters, who had already gone to sleep, staring at my scrawny shirtless pubescent face yelling boobs at 2 a.m. Disappointing and anticlimactic as fuck, but that's what happens when you don't have friends.